Welcome to my channel. Imagine stumbling upon a simple quarter, a coin most people barely glance at when they pull it from their change jar. Now, imagine realizing that this very quarter, seemingly ordinary and bearing the year 1997 and the tiny p mint mark, is rumored to hold a face value of $294 million. Sounds impossible, right? Yet in the world of numismatics, where history, rarity, error, and mystery collide, even the most common-looking coin can hide an unbelievable story. This is the tale of the 1997 USA $quarter coin, a piece of modern pocket change whispered to be worth more than the GDP of a small nation. What makes this particular coin so valuable? Where did it come from, and who discovered its extraordinary status? Let's journey into the past, through the intricate corridors of coin minting history, and unearth the secrets buried in the grooves of this quarter. The year was 1997, a time of transformation across America. The digital age was in full bloom, the economy was experiencing a powerful boom, and society was bracing for the technological leap into the new millennium. Amidst all this momentum, the US Mint continued its long-standing tradition of producing coins to keep the economy running smoothly. At the Philadelphia Mint, millions of coins were pressed each day, including the now famous 1997 quarter dollar. Known officially as the Washington Quarter, this coin had long been a staple in American pockets since its first introduction in 1932 to honor the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. At face value, nothing about the 1997 quarter stood out initially. It bore the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse side, a design by John Flanagan that had become iconic over decades. The reverse side still depicted the heraldic eagle, wings outstretched, perched on a bundle of arrows, surrounded by olive branches. A coin like this didn't raise eyebrows, in fact, it was minted in vast quantities. Yet, in the years that followed, a particular specimen, or perhaps a few, emerged into the numismatic world under mysterious circumstances, catching the attention of experts and collectors alike. Whispers spread that one or more of these 1997 quarters were anything but ordinary, and some were rumored to have a hidden value astronomically higher than anything ever officially acknowledged. But how does a coin that is still in living memory become associated with such an extraordinary valuation? Theories abound. Some believe it was an experimental strike never meant to leave the mint, an off-metal pattern piece struck in a composition different from the typical copper-nickel clad. Others argue it was part of a covert minting test related to the upcoming 50-state quarters program set to begin in 1999. There were even hushed discussions about mint errors so significant and so perfectly preserved that they defy the odds of modern coin production. Still others speculate that it was linked to a ceremonial strike or a presentation piece given to dignitaries, though none of these tales have ever been confirmed. What we do know is that interest in the 1997 quarter soared after a particular coin surfaced at a major auction house in the early 2010s. The coin, described in sparse yet tantalizing terms, reportedly fetched a price no one could have imagined for a modern-clad quarter. The buyer remained anonymous, the sale was shrouded in confidentiality, and speculation about the coin's origin reached fever pitch. What did that coin possess that made it worth so much? The details were scarce, but one phrase appeared repeatedly in insider discussions: die variety. It hinted at a possible minting anomaly, perhaps a double die, a dramatic off-center strike, or even an experimental die design that was pulled before release. Numismatists began combing through their own collections, poring over every detail of the 1997 quarters in circulation, looking for anything that might match the mysterious high-value coin. Some reported finding oddities, like doubling on the motto "In God We Trust," strange reading patterns on the edge, or subtle shifts in the eagle's feathers. None of these quirks, however, seemed to command the same staggering valuation as the legendary specimen. But the mere possibility set off a wave of interest. Coin dealers began listing 1997 quarters with unusual features at steep prices, and forums buzzed with photos and heated debates. As is often the case in the world of valuable coins, myths and facts blur with time. Tales of government employees accidentally releasing prototypes, of collectors tracking down former mint workers for interviews, and even of lawsuits over coin ownership swirled through the numismatic community. The coin's rarity only increased the mystery. Why only one or two? What specific traits did they have? Was it the metal content? Was it an engraving anomaly? Or something else entirely, something the public was never meant to know. Adding to the coin's mystique was its timing. The 1997 P quarter was one of the last to bear the traditional eagle reverse before the debut of the state quarters in 1999. Could the 1997 coin have been used to test changes in die pressure, metal mix, or new minting techniques in preparation for the coming series? Some insiders claim yes. They cite subtle differences in luster and strike depth, the kind that wouldn't catch the casual eye but would be glaring to trained collectors. There's also speculation that the coin bore microscopic features, almost invisible to the naked eye, that linked it to a specific test batched over the years. Several prominent collectors and museums have tried to trace the high-value 1997 P coin. Offers have been made, some in the tens of millions, for any coin that could be definitively verified as the one. Authentication, however, has remained elusive. Some believe the original coin was quietly returned to a government archive. Others think it remains hidden in a private vault, part of an estate collection known only to a few. Still, a few dare to hope it's out there, lost among common quarters in coffee shop tip jars, parking meters, or tucked away in the back of a kitchen drawer. This sense of possibility has driven a whole subculture of treasure hunters. Entire YouTube channels, blogs, and online groups are dedicated to hunting the elusive 1997 P quarter. Some members claim they've found close matches, offering macro photographs and expert commentary, while others search garage sales, coin rolls from banks, and flea markets for any quarter that might bear the magic year and mint mark. The sheer allure of discovering a coin potentially worth $294 million is irresistible, especially when the cost of entry is just 25 cents. Beyond the coin's physical characteristics, its story has become a cultural phenomenon. It's about the thrill of discovery, the idea that something so ordinary can become something extraordinary, and the belief that value isn't always visible. For collectors, the 1997 P quarter embodies the dream that fuels the hobby, that one day, you might stumble upon history in the palm of your hand. It is a testament to the unpredictable nature of numismatics, where mistakes become masterpieces, where forgotten relics become priceless artifacts, and where even the most unassuming coin can spark an obsession. As years go by and new coinage enters circulation, the legend of the 1997 P quarter only grows. Young collectors born long after its minting now search for it as eagerly as veteran numismatists. Auction houses keep an eye out for new submissions, while experts continue to analyze known varieties. And yet, the definitive version of this $294 million enigma remains just out of reach, preserving its status as one of modern coinage's greatest mysteries. If you've ever held a 1997 P quarter in your hand, you might have unknowingly held a piece of that mystery. Maybe you spent it on a soda. Maybe it's still jingling in your car's coin compartment. Or maybe, just maybe, it's sitting in your collection right now, waiting to be discovered. So the next time you come across a quarter from 1997 with that little P mark, don't toss it aside too quickly. Look closer. That tiny disc of metal might be more than change, it might be your ticket to becoming part of coin collecting legend. Thanks for sticking around through this incredible journey into one of the most intriguing coin mysteries in US history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into numismatic lore, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more coin treasure stories, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Who knows, your next great discovery might be just one coin away. Last, what if I told you that a coin you might have in your pocket change right now, a simple $quarter, could actually be worth $69 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's exactly the buzz surrounding one particular coin that's been creating ripples in the world of collectors, investors, and historians alike. The 1995 P USA $quarter coin has developed a mystique all its own, a tale wrapped in enigma and layered with financial speculation, historical oddities, and stories passed down through numismatic circles like folklore. Buckle up, because today we're going on a journey into the depths of history, economics, and mystery to uncover why this humble coin has the attention of experts, collectors, and treasure hunters across the world. To understand the legend of the 1995 P $quarter coin, we have to start with the basics. Issued by the United States Mint in Philadelphia, this coin was supposed to be just another piece of pocket change. Millions were made. Nothing unusual about that, at least on the surface. It carried the standard design of the time, George Washington's stoic profile on the obverse, and the majestic eagle clutching arrows on the reverse, with the familiar P mint mark indicating it was struck in Philadelphia. But somewhere along the line, something changed. Some coins from this batch weren't just typical quarters. They were anomalies that would make certain examples extraordinarily rare and eventually stir up theories that they were never meant for general circulation at all. Word of these unique 1995p quarters began spreading in the early 2000s when a few unusual examples started showing up at private auctions and fetching prices way beyond expectations. These weren't just circulated coins being sold for a premium. These were coins that had characteristics no other quarters had: strange die errors, mysterious markings, and in some cases, metallic inconsistencies that hinted at experimental minting processes. Collectors began whispering among themselves that some of these coins were part of a covert test or mint experiment, one that was either accidentally released to the public or purposely smuggled out by insiders. This possibility wasn't so far-fetched. The US Mint has a long, colorful history of producing test coins, trial strikes, and experimental pieces. Most are destroyed, but every once in a while, one escapes. These test coins are often worth a fortune, not just because of their rarity, but because they tell a story that was never supposed to be told. The idea that the 1995p quarter could be part of such a story sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. Coin shows across the country began seeing a surge of interest. Collectors started inspecting their 1995 quarters more carefully, looking for differences that could hint at something rare. One man in Colorado reportedly found one in a roll of quarters he'd gotten from the bank. That same coin later went on to sell at a private auction for a figure rumored to be in the high six figures, and this was just the beginning. As more and more people began to investigate, patterns began to emerge. It seemed that not all 1995p quarters were created equal. Some had doubling on the lettering, others had full strikes on both sides with perfect luster, indicating they may have come from specially prepared dies. A few were even found to have unusual weight discrepancies, leading some to believe they may have been struck on different metal planches either accidentally or as part of a secret test. Then there were the whispered rumors of coins that had characteristics of both quarters and other denominations, suggesting hybrid minting or experimental blanks. By the time the story reached mainstream media outlets in the late 2010s, the legend had taken on a life of its own. News stations and websites ran headlines like "The quarter worth $69 million," and "Have you checked your pocket change today?" The buzz reignited interest in coin collecting among younger audiences, and coin shops began seeing an influx of amateur collectors hoping to find a jackpot quarter. Online marketplaces like eBay were flooded with 1995p quarters, most of them ordinary, of course, but hidden among the sea of listings. The occasional gem appeared, usually accompanied by extensive documentation, high-resolution photographs, and certificates from grading services like PCGS and NGC. But how did we get from a rare coin fetching a few $100,000 to a rumor of a $69 million face value? That leap involves a mix of verified sales, private deals, and a sprinkle of mystery. In 2022, a coin rumored to be one of the original test strikes surfaced in a private European collection. How it got there remains unclear, but it caused a bidding war among collectors from 4 continents. The coin was said to be flawless, with mirror-like proof surfaces and subtle design differences that marked it as a prototype rather than a production piece. When the dust settled, sources close to the deal claimed the final sale price was north of $30 million. This astonishing sale fueled speculation that if this was one of several such coins, others could exist, and possibly even ones in better condition or with more compelling features. That's when the legendary $69 million figure started circulating. Though no public auction has confirmed such a price, private collectors and high-net-worth individuals reportedly offered sums approaching that level for what they believe to be the most perfect example of this mysterious minting anomaly. Why so much money for a quarter? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, provenance, and narrative. Coins like this become more than metal, they become artifacts. They become tangible links to a hidden history, one that only a select few ever get to uncover. It's not just about the coin itself, but the story it tells, of government secrets, of accidents and intentional leaks, of chance finds and destiny. Owning such a coin is like owning a secret, a piece of untold history nestled in the palm of your hand. As interest in the 1995 P quarter soared, institutions took notice. Museums reached out to collectors, hoping to secure long-term loans of rare examples. The Smithsonian reportedly inquired about obtaining a specimen for its numismatic wing, though no deal was finalized. Meanwhile, grading services saw a spike in submissions of 1995 quarters, with collectors hoping theirs might be one of the rare ones. Most weren't. But every so often, one would surprise even the most seasoned grader. In the meantime, conspiracy theories abounded. Some believed the coins were minted as part of a secret government experiment to test new anti-counterfeiting measures. Others thought they were deliberately created to be sold to wealthy insiders. A few even speculated that the coin was tied to clandestine operations, and that the minting error was merely a cover for something much bigger. While such theories may seem far-fetched, they add an irresistible allure to an already compelling story. As we look back now, decades after the 1995 P quarter was first minted, its legacy continues to grow. The coin that was never supposed to be special has become one of the most talked about quarters in modern history. From random coin rolls to million-dollar vaults, it has traveled a remarkable journey. And through it all, one question remains: how many more are still out there, hiding in plain sight? Could there be one in your change jar? Your glove compartment? Or tucked away in a roll you've never opened? That's the magic of this story. It invites everyone into the hunt. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned collector with decades of experience or a curious beginner just learning about coins. The possibility that a coin worth millions could be right under your nose is too tantalizing to ignore. It stirs the imagination and sparks that eternal hope that maybe, just maybe, you'll be the next one to find a piece of numismatic history. So the next time you get a quarter back in change, take a moment. Look at the date. Check the mint mark. Examine the details. Because if it says 1995 P, you just might be holding something extraordinary. A little disc of metal that could unlock a financial windfall, or at the very least, give you a thrilling tale to tell. And if you enjoyed this dive into one of the most captivating stories in coin collecting history, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell so you never miss another deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and hidden treasures. You never know what history is hiding in your pocket.